actually happened to my legs. I was born with legs, but I was born with a genetic disease called sacroiligenesis, which caused the muscles of my legs not to work. So, at the age of 2, they were amputated here in hopes that I could use prosthetic legs, but that didn't work. So when I was 5 years old, they were amputated here so I could get around better. And once again, I tried prosthetic legs, but for me, they were very difficult to use. It's faster and easier for me to walk on my hands or use my wheelchair. I hope that clears up any confusion about how I lost my legs and that your genitals aren't connected to your legs. Okay? Bye.
Feel like sun on my skin. So this is love. I know it is. I know it sounds super cliche, but you make me feel some type of way. This is fun.
Hi, I'm Zara and I'm an ambulatory wheelchair user. Basically, that means that I have some health conditions that cause paralysis, fainting, loads of different things. So sometimes I need to use a wheelchair, but I can also stand on some days. Today my fainting's bad, so physically I can walk, but if I stand up for too long I faint. So I'm using my wheelchair. Ambulatory wheelchair users exist and it's valid to use something you need.
Why would I or anyone else use a cane? It's Disability Pride Month, so I think now is a great time to answer this question. First of all, this is my cane. Isn't she cute? I got her from an antique store and then I repainted her. Isn't that awesome? My personal reasons, I really struggle with balance when I walk, and otherwise, not always though. I have really bad days and I have good days. So I struggle sometimes to walk unassisted, and sometimes that can cause me to faint or fall, and this is a really good stop before that. Sometimes when I don't have my service dog, like right now, when she's recovering from surgery. And even maybe if I do have my service dog, an extra stop for that. If I am feeling like I'm gonna fall over, I can lean on this right now. Or if I'm struggling to walk, I'm having a lot of joint pain, this really, really helps me, especially on long walks, on longer trips, longer outings. If I'm standing for a long time, this helps a ton with my pain and with my disability. It also helps me get up the stairs a lot faster and easier. Essentially, canes can help provide balance and support. I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching.
Am I your original? Am I the only one? Am I sexual?
No, you don't. No, you don't. Stop with the shenanigans.
You say the ocean's rising like I give a shit. You say the whole world's ending, honey, it already did. You're not gonna slow it, heaven knows you tried. Got it good, now get inside. We're going to go where everybody knows everybody knows everybody. We're going to go where everybody knows everybody knows.
The first time someone told me that if they had my condition, they would rather end their life was only a few months into my diagnosis. And I still remember wondering what they expected me to say to that. I was only a few weeks into college when one of my classmates in the dining hall decided to give an impromptu lecture over dinner about how people like me were a burden on resources and the university and the economy. And his conclusion was that it would be better for everyone if we were dead. These are refrains that disabled people know well because we hear them all the time from people who think they're complimenting us and from people who very intentionally mean to insult us. It seems like everyone with an opinion on whether our lives are worth living is never that interested in listening when we say that unequivocally they are. And this is why Disability Pride Month is so important. I don't always love being disabled, but I know for a fact that I am not dead yet, and I would not be better off if I were. Disability Pride reminds us that disabled lives are worth living. While the value of our lives isn't defined by productivity or what we bring to the table, rest assured that we bring a lot to the table. You just weren't paying attention.
Yeah, let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up.
Actually, people be thinking being deaf means everything that it isn't. People be asking me like, how do you read and write? I'm deaf, not illiterate. They'll be like, well, how can you speak? I'm deaf, not mute. And then they'll be like, well, how can you drive? Like, I'm deaf, not blind. Damn, how did y'all graduate?
5 things you probably didn't know about dyslexia. Number 1, people with dyslexia find it really difficult to tell the difference between the left and the right side. And even, as an adult, when I took my driving test, the guy told me to take a left 4 different times and I took a right. Number 2, it's very difficult to remember people's names. Turns out that dyslexia is characterized by a challenge in phonemic awareness and short-term memory. And therefore, clocking names is actually super tough. Number 3, it's less so that the words start to jumble and flip. It's more so that it takes a lot of energy from my brain to decode words. And so more so than just, spelling badly or reading slowly, the energy that it takes for me to read is just so tremendous that it makes things very challenging. Number 4, it's very embarrassing to have dyslexia, especially over texting. And so often the point at the age at which people with dyslexia start to significantly improve their spelling is when they start to actively iMessage and text with people, because you have Google on your phone as well. And so when you might not know how to spell that word correctly, you plug it into Google, you put it in, and that's around the time that most kids with dyslexia start to know the difference between 2 and 2, etc., etc.
I am so good at masking. No one would ever realize I was autistic if I didn't say anything.
Look, there she goes, that girl is so peculiar.
I know it's a lot, the hair, the bod, when you're staring at a demigod. What can I say except you're welcome? C'è la luna, mezza mare, mamma mia, mi maradare. Figli a cutterare, mamma mia, pensaccia tu. Sitte d'ogni pisciaolo, ite va, ite viene sempre baccalare del manedene. Se ci picchia va.
I got a 2-1 in my degree because I am what? Smart. And I did it in psychology because I'm what? Guy.
Things I can do using my crutches, but it gets progressively more violent. Level 1. Shin tap. Level 2. Bat. Level 3. Drop kick.
Sorry, I got distracted. I'm so ADHD.
I think I'd rather you just call me a slur.
Blind, this is how I use my cane.
It's not a stick, guys. The way you grip it is crucial.
This side is flat, and that's where my pointer finger goes. I hold it like this. Keep it out in front of your belly button and walk in step. When my right foot's back, the cane is on the same side. Switch to the left, covering shoulders width, and it becomes my eyes for all obstacles. The worst is if it gets you in the stomach. When I feel the bumps, I know I'm at the corner. I'd be lost without it. One love!
Thank you.